All right, what is up, my brothers? So in this video, I'm going to explain why women aren't supportive of their husbands. The title of this one, she reads, I'm a 30-year-old female and I don't want to be emotionally supportive wife to my husband. He's a 43-year-old male. She says, what's wrong with me? The TLDR version is there isn't anything wrong with her per se, and I'm going to explain why at the end of this video. But let me read her post and fill you in on what's going on in their marriage, because it's a bit of a crazy one. So she goes on and says, I'm in a good, steady, and loving relationship with my husband. Wow, but she doesn't want to support him, right? We've been together for 10 years, married for 6. We have fun together, go out, have common interests, enjoy talking to each other for hours, and are close. And everything is great in the bedroom. I'm, however, a bit unhappy. My husband is unemployed again. That's the key word, unemployed again. He is stressed out and doesn't want any job. Money isn't an issue. We live in Europe and have unemployment payments. He wants a job that makes him feel valued and is within his field. I do understand that, but him being unemployed makes him unhappy. And he needs me to be emotionally supportive on top of doing everything at the house. My husband doesn't have the energy to cook, wash clothes, clean up, vacuum, or anything else, because he is stressed out from being fired and from being unemployed. She goes on to say, I got a new job a few months ago. I've come through the glass ceiling and I am now the boss of 4 employees. We have a boss girl on our hands and doing what I've always wanted. And I make a lot of money, but it is hard. I work late hours and I want to prove my worth. I'm tired when I get home and I don't have time to clean the house and cook. I cannot keep up with watching clothes wash, the vacuuming, or I could if I didn't have to be supportive and listen to his problems, his new ways of dealing with stress, his dissatisfaction with the unemployment system, and the political system in general. But I just feel like he is talking at me, not to me. I do understand that he needs to vent, but I feel that when I'm home, he takes up all my time, so I can't keep the house in order. Also, I want to go out with my friends a few days a week. I do need to have some fun time and blow off steam and go to the theater, out to eat, or to a bar, or to a club. And here is what I don't understand. Why don't I want to be supportive? Why do I care more about clean clothes and vacuuming than about my husband, who clearly needs my support? Why do I want to go out with my friends and leave my husband at home instead of taking him out when he clearly needs something fun to cheer him up? Why don't I want to support the man I love? I have tried talking to him about him taking up all of my time, but then he just asks, why don't you want to spend time with me? And that is why I don't understand why I don't want to be supportive. Well, we're going to have a conversation about female solipsism today. In today's show, we're going to conversate about female solipsism. All right, well, look, let's get on the road. So I realize this might sound a little bit repetitive to some of the folks that have been watching me for some time now, but there's a quote that I've said many times that has been used by others out there. It is, women do not care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winner. That is an innate baseline nature of female survival techniques. Look, if we go back thousands and thousands of years, if women in a tribe of the old hunter-gatherer sort of days was not being looked after by her man, the father of her kids, the person that she had pair bonded to and mated with, let's say, maybe she's got kids with him, maybe she doesn't. I don't know about this lady's scenario. It doesn't sound like there are kids. But if a woman made a poor mate choice, it would often spell certain death for women back in those days. Now, not much has changed since then. Sure, a few thousand years have passed. Women can now have jobs. We all drive in cars. We have computers. We all pay taxes. Women need a man like a fish needs a bicycle, as the feminists like to say. There's a lot of strong, independent women out there today that aren't in the need of the care or the love or the protection of a man these days. So, that being said, you have to understand, like, from a baseline perspective, women just need men to get it. They need men to be competent. They need men to be able to solve problems. The biggest problem men need to solve is their own financial and providing and provisioning problems. And this guy, as she stated in her post early on, is unemployed again. Now, when you get to my stage of life and you end up talking to enough of the gals out there that have either been divorced, going through a divorce, or maybe their second or third one, if you know what I'm saying, one of the things you'll often hear them say is, well, I had to untie the knot because he was a loser. One of the big complaints you'll hear women make often is, he couldn't keep a job down. Women don't have any patience for men that are unable to provide for the family. Now, the flip side of the coin is, and I'm sorry, but this is a double standard. Men are expected to provide and protect for women. They are expected to tolerate a woman who may, in fact, lose her job several times if they're a two-income household. This is an unfortunate double standard of the world that we live in today, right? We as men do not get the same level of forgiveness that women get. And men keep screwing this up. They keep thinking that, you know, women and men are exactly the same and they're supposed to be treated equally. And if, you know, she gets unemployed or doesn't have a job and he looks after things and she'll do the same thing and reciprocate when he loses his job. But that's not the reality of the world that we live in. Men and women are not the same. We're very, very different, in fact. So this is where the sexes tend to complicate things. And she doesn't understand. She knows. She inherently knows why she's put off by him, why she doesn't care about why he's stressed, why she doesn't care about why he's not contributing to maintaining the household. She inherently, like at her core, in her DNA, knows, because basically she pair bonded with a loser, you know, without her actually saying that. But that's what her DNA is basically. It's a little voice going, hey lady, you pair bonded with a loser, right? She doesn't know why, but that is the reason why. And that's why she doesn't have a lot of patience for him, and why she's wanting to go out and hang out with her friends and blow off steam and go to bars and go to clubs. Because this is where things get nasty. If she's going out with her girlfriends to blow off steam to bars and clubs with her girlfriends, while her unemployed husband sits at home moping about his day, why his life sucks, and why things are not improving for him, she's going to start looking at other dudes. Her girlfriends are going to start whispering in her ear something along the lines of, you can do better than him, girl. Why are you letting this guy weigh you down? He's like an anchor, and blah, blah, blah. That's just the reality of the way that these dynamics work. Again, women don't care about men's struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winners. So us as men, it's incumbent upon us to deliver, to make something out of ourselves, to become the provider, the protector, and the presider in the household and all that good stuff. And, you know, we can set aside the presider stuff for another conversation, because I know people will be like, well, men have responsibility to families without authority. And you're right. We'll deal with that in another video if you want to talk about that. But the fact remains is women just don't care. They're, you know, we want them to care. It's expected of them to care because, you know, we've been telling men and women for decades now, you're exactly the same. Man can do what a woman does, a woman can do what a man can do. Men can become women and women can become men and blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. We've heard these narratives for decades now. So pretty much everybody is, you know, under the assumption that if bad things happen, we're just going to look after each other. And it's even in the wedding vows, you know, in sickness and health, and richer and poorer, and blah, 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 till death do us part. Well, we know that the vast majority of divorces, about 80% of them, are filed by women. And it's generally speaking because they're unhappy and they want to untie the knot. And when I say it's because they're unhappy, it's because things aren't going their way. And with the advent of no-fault divorce, they can untie the knot and get half of everything and not have to put up with his dumb ass either. That's what I've heard them say, word for word. I quoted that in my book, by the way. You can get the Unplugged Alpha pinned in the top comment below. Let's talk about the next part of this, which is solipsism. Women have this baseline innate ability to have difficulty to see anything beyond their nose, okay? You can go and Google search solipsism. I'm driving right now. I can't pull it up. But essentially, that's what it means. Women have an inability to see things from the male perspective, right? Men think, again, that if they love a woman and they take care of her and they, you know, take vows to be with them and all that sort of thing, that's just good enough, and that there won't ever be any problems in a relationship or marriage, and it'll always be tickety-boo, as long as you're still her best option, right? Women are hypergamous. They only date across and up or marry across and up on the socioeconomic scale. So when she got with this dude, sounds like he's about 13 years older. So when she got with this dude, he was probably her best option. Probably making good money. Things are great. Doesn't sound like money is a significant problem for them. It doesn't come up in the post anyway. So I'm assuming when they got together, everything was great. Now that things aren't great, she doesn't care. Men are expected to care, though. You know, if she's got a down day, or Becky and HR is being a total B, or, you know, the part-timer is stressing her out or something like that, he's going to hear about it all day long, right? He's expected to want to, pay attention to that and ask questions and, this, that, and the other thing. But again, you can see by this woman's post, women are solipsistic. They have difficulty seeing anything from the male perspective. And at the end of the day, they just don't care. They need men to get it. They don't need men. They're not looking to become king makers, okay? Women aren't king makers. They want to be with kings. So it is incumbent upon men to be the king, right? She doesn't want to make you a king. She doesn't want to maintain that kingship. If you fail to maintain your place in society, it's not unusual for women to say, I'm out, let's untie the knot. See you later. That guy over there, Kevin, an accountant, looks like a better, dude. Oh, look, there's Steve from, the VP of sales sort of thing. You get what I'm saying here, right? So guys have to level up and do the work. It's incumbent upon them to take ownership for their lives and be responsible. Women don't have the same burden of performance. It's just men. And this is why this lady is having difficulty with this. This is not her fault, his fault, anybody's fault. This is just the reality of the sexes. This is what I've been saying for years. This is the thing that people push back on, and they say, oh, men and women are the same, Rich. Clearly they're not. Because if she was unemployed multiple times in 1 year, he would just put up with it. That's what most men do. Men don't go, fuck this shit, I'm getting divorced because she's not working. It's very rare that they do that, in fact. You guys know that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up on that note. Thought that was an interesting post. Wanted to share it with you. Pin in the top comment, a bunch of useful links. Go check them out. Links to my book, my website, my other podcasts, all that good stuff, supplement line. Leave a comment below and you let me know what you think. What do you think about this post? What do you think about this lady? What do you think about the dude? Comment below. Let me know what you think. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.